Is it possible that in the 21st century there are still groups of people completely isolated from civilization? It turns out that there are places in the world where tribes live who have no idea what modern reality looks like. For generations, they have consistently cut themselves off from outsiders, maintaining their unique traditions, beliefs, and way of life. There are known cases when they react with aggression towards intruders who violate their territory. Modern technological achievements, trends, and global events are completely foreign to them, and their life is based on harmony with nature. Meet the most terrifying and at the same time unusual tribes living on our planet. Sentinelese. North Sentinel, a small isolated island located in the Bay of Bengal, is inhabited by one of the most mysterious tribes on Earth. The local inhabitants, called Sentinelese, are the last completely isolated community in the world. It is estimated that between 50 and 400 people live on the island. Their history and culture remain obscured from the rest of the world. The Sentinelese live a life separated from civilization and scrupulously avoid any interaction with outsiders. Attempts were made to contact them many times, but their response was usually aggressive. In the year 2004, a powerful earthquake struck the Indian Ocean area, raising fears of the decimation of the island's population. The Indian government then sent a reconnaissance helicopter over the island. A man appeared on the beach and made it clear that visitors were not welcome. In 2005, the Indian authorities introduced an absolute ban on approaching the island. The reason was the aggressive attitude of the natives and concern for their health in the face of unknown diseases. A year later, two poachers unknowingly violated the ban and paid the ultimate price when the island's inhabitants killed them in their sleep. The last famous event took place in 2018, when a young evangelical missionary from the United States, John Allen Chow, made repeated attempts to establish contact with the inhabitants of the island. He bribed fishermen who agreed to take him to the Sentinel area. Despite numerous warnings and risks, Chow rowed a small boat towards the shore and tried to approach the natives. However, in the face of hostile gestures, the missionary decided to retreat. During the second attempt to approach the island, one of the Sentinelese shot an arrow at the man, hitting the Bible that the missionary was holding to his chest. After this incident, the missionary withdrew again. The third attempt ended tragically. According to the testimonies of the fishermen, the inhabitants of the island killed the missionary and took the body deep into the forest. The fishermen were later arrested, and attempts to recover the young man's body were ultimately abandoned. The missionary's actions were met with sharp criticism, and the attempt at Christianization was considered oppressive. Biami Tribe. The mountainous areas of Enga Province in Papua New Guinea are inhabited by a community whose history is one of the most terrifying and controversial. In the past, the tribe was known for practicing cannibalism. They believed that by eating the body, they would gain the strength and knowledge of the deceased. This practice probably stopped in the 1980s, but it is still a taboo among the local community. The tribe does not have a unified political system and relies on local groups and leaders. Each village has its own chief, who is elected from among the older men and is tasked with resolving disputes, organizing defense, and maintaining order. Chiefs of different villages can cooperate or compete with each other depending on the situation. Some of the tribes still believe in the existence of ghosts and supernatural forces that influence their lives and fate. Some people have the ability to communicate with spirits and perform magical rituals. They are shamans, a group extremely respected among the tribe's community. They can cure diseases, predict the future, protect against evil forces, or cast curses. They are chosen from among people who have had some extraordinary experience or revelation. Huaorani Tribe. In the heart of the Yasuni tropical forest in Ecuador, there lives a tribe famous for its belligerence and brutality. The Huaorani are known for their steadfast defense of their land and unique culture. They have been waging a fierce battle against oil companies and the Ecuadorian government for decades, seeking to protect their ancestral lands from exploitation. In the 1950s, the tribe massacred a group of missionaries, and in the early 1980s, they repeatedly attacked oil workers, often with fatal results. Although the number of attacks has decreased in recent years, the Huaorani are still perceived as dangerous and unpredictable. For a long time, the tribe lived in isolation from the rest of the world. Over time, however, the situation has changed, and now the Huaorani are increasingly opening up to the outside world. Hunting is an important element of the culture of this tribe. Before each expedition, the shaman leads rituals to ensure its success. The main hunting weapon is the blowgun. The arrows used are dipped in poison, which paralyzes the muscles of the hit animal so that it cannot breathe. Suri Tribe. The Suri Tribe is a community settled in the Omo Valley in Ethiopia. Strength is an important element of their culture. For generations, men have been taking part in stick fights called donga. Several times a year, they come from different villages, covering even several dozen kilometers along narrow savanna paths, to meet for ritual duels. The dong stick is up to 2.5 meters long and is made of very hard wood. The fights are quite aggressive and brutal, with a high risk of serious injury and even death. He fights to prove his masculinity, solve personal vendettas, and, most importantly, impress women. A characteristic feature of the tribe are women who have clay plates placed in their lower lips. They are a symbol of beauty, status, and fertility. The larger the plate, the more attractive and valuable the woman is. In addition to their aesthetic function, they protect women from evil spirits and ensure happiness. Ayoreo Tribe. The Ayoreo people are an indigenous ethnic group living in the Gran Chaco areas of Paraguay and Bolivia. Their number is estimated at about 3,000 people. They engage in seasonal cultivation and lead a hunter-gatherer lifestyle. Ayoreo society is organized into small, autonomous groups, numbering from several dozen to several hundred people. Each group is headed by a leader, selected for his skills and experience. They believe in the magical powers of shamans, who serve as spiritual and healing leaders. Their religion is based on the cults of ancestors, nature spirits, and deities associated with the elements. One of the most isolated subgroups of the tribe are the Torobiegosod, which means people of the forest. They live deep in the Gran Chaco forest, avoiding contact with other people. They are extremely aggressive towards intruders and can defend their territory with spears and bows. Their language and culture are poorly understood because relationships with them are few. Korubo Tribe. The Korubo Tribe is one of the most fascinating and unexplored communities. They inhabit the Javari Valley in the western part of the Amazon. For a long time, very little was known about this tribe due to their isolation. In 1996, the Korubo Tribe agreed to contact with the outside world, which resulted in the death of many Indians due to a malaria epidemic. Sometime later, internal conflicts occurred, which resulted in the tribe being divided into two groups. The smaller one made contact with the outside world, while the larger one remained isolated. Korubo was at war with the neighboring Matis tribe. The tension between the tribes resulted from competition for territory. In 2014, tragic clashes occurred in which 2 members of the Matis tribe were killed, and in retaliation their relatives killed 10 members of the Korubo. The situation forced the Brazilian authorities to organize an expedition to prevent further escalation of the conflict. It was attended by relatives who had separated from the tribe years ago. In 2018, representatives of both tribes met, which resulted in an agreement and the conflict ended.